What's up, family? Hey, today, check this out. We're going to do this video on a childhood story that helped with children's growth, but it also resonates with adults, with everyday life, depending on your circumstances and how you're dealing with them. And that story is called The Grasshopper and the Ants. We're all familiar with that story, right? How the ants prepared through the summer, preparing for the harsh, cold winter to come, to be prepared, right? Whereas the grasshopper, on the other hand, played around, didn't take stuff serious, and laughed at the ants. But when the winter came, it was very harsh for his living conditions, right? Now, speaking of that, I want to equate that with everyday life for everyday people, right? Most people are not preparing like the grasshopper. Because this whole thing, I'm going to compare it to actual people, right? How a lot of people are not preparing diligently like they should, like the ant. Instead, they like to live life carefree and party, and buying materialistic stuff all the time, wasting time and life a day, living for the moment. And then have the nerve to look at some people like the ant who's preparing and say, oh man, you guys are always working, always. No, remember the statement that says, work hard while you're young so you don't have to when you get older. Or I'm gonna work hard now so I don't have to later. See, that was the whole premise of the ants, and that's what a lot of people need to do. It's really hard to understand why a lot of people don't break the cycle of poverty, because what they're doing is the cycle of poverty that they lived through, that their parents and their parents' parents lived through, they don't even realize. As crazy as this may sound, a lot of them don't even realize that they're living in poverty, and they get accustomed to living their living standards like they're living. But let's go back to the grasshopper and the ant. Now look, just like everyday people, the grasshopper and the ant both had the same benefits and opportunity. One decided to use it productively, the other decided to be wasteful. Now let's break down what I mean by benefits and opportunities. For example, there was an abundance, speaking of benefits, there was an abundance of fruits and vegetables and food and provisions to build for both the grasshopper and the ants. The ant took all those provisions, food, and stored it, building stuff, and put it to their place to build for the winter. Those same benefits the grasshopper had, but he decided to eat his all up right at the moment, being wasteful, right? Now, what would be the opportunity? Now, we heard that word before, opportunity. If you look it up, that could be the word of the day, because as usual, love to give y'all a word of the day. It simply means a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. Like if you have a chance to do something, you have the opportunity to do something. So what would be the benefits would be the provisions, right? The opportunity would be the weather that they had. They had great weather for great pickings. But what did the grasshopper do with his opportunity? He just wasted away, sitting around, playing music, wasting time, laughing, not taking nothing serious. It almost goes back to that old statement, very intelligent statement, where it says, it's nothing greater than having the opportunity and not being prepared, opposed to being prepared and not having an opportunity. So let me say that again to you so you can really understand what I'm talking about. It's a great thing to be prepared and just don't have the opportunity. So let's break it down. Meaning you're prepared. If the opportunity presents itself, it doesn't matter. That job you've been wanting, that career you've been wanting, that fight you've been wanting, if you're an athlete or whatever, you've been training this whole time. So you're just waiting for the opportunity. The opposite would be is if you have the opportunity, but you've been sitting around, AKA like the grasshopper, you've been sitting around not taking that opportunity serious. And when the opportunity presented itself, you weren't prepared. Another way to put that, put it in a form of boxing. Let's take great boxers out there, right? They always defending their title. They always got to be defending their championship, their belt, always, right? But it's always a fighter. Let's say two fighters. That fighter and another fighter has a belt. They come to a contract. They come to agreement, a date. They come to a price, a setting where they fight. Everything is agreed, and they're going to have a fight 9 months from now. Okay, you know what happens? A lot of times, unfortunately, this does happen. AKA have the opportunity and not be prepared. We're talking about the grasshopper right now. A lot of times what happened that remember 9 months from now the fight gonna happen. It'll be 8 months and 2 weeks have passed by, and all of a sudden one of the fighters will get his ankle broken, his arm, his wrist twisted, he gets sick or whatever. And you know what they do? They call another fighter, AKA the grasshopper, who all this time, he talking about he want the opportunity, but he ain't been training or nothing. And now he gets this call and say, hey, we got that big fight that you've been looking for. Look, you want it? It's paying this amount of money. He gets the fight. He got 2 weeks to train, but all this other time he has not been training. And a lot of times what happened, he goes in that fight ill-prepared and gets his butt whooped. See, he had the opportunity, but not prepared, AKA the grasshopper. You taking the time that you have been given and you're wasting it. Now there are some small instances where that same story may happen, but it's the flip-flop where you are prepared, you just waiting for the opportunity. So imagine sometimes this happens too with the fighter, where the fighter be the ant, where he's been training the whole 8 months. He just don't have the fight come up. He's training and training and training. 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months. He's training, just can't get a fight. Next you know, 2 weeks before a fight, they're called the ant, and they say, we got a fight for you, a big fight. You want it? He goes, yeah, man, I've been training this whole time. That be the type of fighter, AKA sometimes going to fight and shocks the world and wind up beating the champ. Because the whole time, this guy, I just want the opportunity. I've been prepared all along, AKA the ant. So like I said, a lot of people in the world, we must always take that childhood story, the grasshopper and the ant. Remember how the ants was always preparing for the harshness of winter that is surely to come. Whereas the grasshopper, on the other hand, he never took life serious. You know, he's all about showboating, bragging, wasting time. It's almost like, you know how we see family and friends and co-workers and neighbors, how they gotta always be showing off about how much they got. You know, I got 3, 4, 5 cars in my driveway. Come on. This is no different than when you hear them say, most people of poverty buy a lot of stuff. You know why they buy a lot of stuff, AKA the grasshopper? Because they want to try to show to the world, look at me, look what I got. This is my success. But the truth of the matter is, you don't have any success at all. You're just like the grasshopper. You're being wasteful. And you're just wasting away a lot of time. What's another way I could put this? I said it, because I love the statement, like I said, it's no greater thing to be prepared and just want the opportunity. Don't have the opportunity, but when it comes, you're ready. So just remember that in everyday life, folks. The grasshopper and the ant, it may have been a childhood story, but it resonates with us adults to this day. Look at a lot of people. You ever notice how people in poverty, they have, even though they're going through poverty, living through poverty, they still have time to glamour themselves. They still have time to get their hair and nails done. Isn't that amazing? You're living in poverty, but you find time to get your hair and nails done. They find time to go shopping all the time, buying stuff that they really don't need. It's stuff that they want because they want a magnitude. They want to constantly be buying stuff, AKA the grasshopper, being wasteful. They want to constantly be buying stuff because to them, this is status to them. To them, this is a way to try to prove to everybody, look at me, look what I got. Don't be the grasshopper, be the ant. Like I said before, it may have been a childhood story, but it resonates with people in this current day now and always will be. Because you're always going to have, look at your brothers and sisters and people you grew up around, right? Think about when your mother and father, whoever, they gave you the same benefits and opportunity that they gave your brother and sister. And we have seen this time and time again, where your brother and sister may have taken that benefits and opportunity and they just wasted. Whereas you took the benefits and opportunity, no matter how much or how little, you took what you got and you made an abundance of it. You made it double, flip it, you invested, whatever you did, right? But you made it grow for the future, AKA the ant. Whereas your brothers and sisters was like the grasshoppers, wasteful. And now down in line, in life, that'll be the same brother or sister, friend or whatever. They look at you in envy and jealousy because they really upset that, man, you're doing better than me. But guess what? You was given the same benefits and opportunity that I was. We was in the same neighborhood, went to the same school, was given the same opportunities. You chose to waste them, whereas I chose to make them productive. You're going to see this with people all the time. So it's up to you to be more productive. Be more like the ant. Like I said, for the third time, I'm being redundant. Yes, it was a childhood story, but it resonates with us today. Be like the ant. Be productive. Be prepared. And if you're looking for the opportunity, always be prepared. Don't wait till the last minute and go, oh man, now I got to. No, you're prepared. You're just waiting for the opportunity. When the opportunity presents itself, you was just wait. I'm ready. I've always been ready. Peace.